asking the chart, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? And so there's a god and a goddess, and they have all these tools, and so they would give answers to people. So the teachings become alive. They become yours. And if you can realize that this is really the system of life, and this is the path of liberation. And it starts at earth and it goes to liberation. Earth to heaven, earth to liberation, earth to cosmic consciousness. But the thing is that we are human, we start where we are. And most of us start, even ordinary changes in life are fearful. So to change from, earth to cosmic consciousness is a leap. So, and if you're afraid of change, everyone has that fear. Everyone has a fear of something. And then and you resist the change, then it's because we don't know what the next thing is. But if you have a map, then you know. So if you're in earth, it tells you all about earth. If you're in water, it tells you all about water, and how things can get very watery some days, or misty, or cloudy. And if it gets fiery, you know that that's part of you too. If it gets sort of airy and, can't really put your finger on anything, it's not. And if it gets to be ether, it's sort of like out there in the ethers, as we say. It's like very hard to grasp. But this mind interprets it all. And so you have to train your mind and control your mind. And so that as you experience life, that is the teachings. So at first, you may feel that things are a bit muddy, because like water and earth, you've got this sense of security. How am I going to survive? And that's a good question to ask yourself at each step. But to know that there are many ways to survive. Because you're here, the rest of it doesn't go away. The rest of it is there for you too. So you can make a choice. You can make a choice, like if you're here and you need some help from fire to warm things up, or to melt the ice, or just whatever it is that you need, you can go there. And you can learn about that, because a lot of people get up to here, and so you've got these three working together. You've got survival, imagination, doing its best to bring fear to your mind, and emotions that'll then take that and really fire it up, and then you're in this turmoil of these three, and then that's enough. Like, what's going to happen next? But if you know what's going to happen next, or you know what you can bring into the mix, if you know you're here and you're heading into imagination, you can cultivate your imagination. So instead of bringing fears and doubts, it could bring consideration and loyalty and honesty. It could be very directed to make something very positive happen in your life. It's a very powerful tool. So the process of a human life is very slow, because we resist the unknown. And it's sort of like, I just remember going to the ashram the first time, and they would ask questions, those questions. Who are you and what's the purpose of your life? And I had, the answers that I knew. And they kept asking for more. And I didn't know. So it was kind of like that insecurity, because everything is the way it is in our culture, and your life is the way you live it. Then it takes a while for those things to melt, those ideas, to dissolve and become your own ideas in your own way. And no one else can tell you. But that's the interesting thing about the teachings, that they will tell you. They'll tell you in your way, with your symbols. It's sort of like an extension of your dream life, only someone put it into a concrete form. But you can each night get your own message. If you go to the teachings, you'll get your own message. So it's a wonderful thing, and the thing that we have to develop, like catching a dream, is that sensitivity to be able to absorb whatever the occasion brings. So you don't go in and mix up your dream and say, that's not the one for me. But a lot of people say that about their life. Like that's terrible. That's, I've got a bad life. It's very painful. Well, it's like you say, I have a bad dream. Okay, I'm going to look at it. But it's sort of like that step back to be able to absorb what life is bringing you, what you have to learn. So most of us are in that state of trying to wake up in our life because we don't know. And it's not that we've made a mistake. It's that if we came knowing what we had to learn, well, we wouldn't have to learn it. We'd know it. Somehow. But it makes sense. But then when we're living it, it's just like, oh my goodness. What's the right thing? What's the next choice? How do we make that decision? And on we go, analyzing and terrorizing ourselves almost into resistance and being unable to move because we might make a mistake. Yet the only way we learn is through making mistakes and learning from them. So and if you see this as a path and someone tells you at the beginning, you have to put, this is going to take you the rest of your life, and it's a lifetime, commitment, but you'll really get this excellent reward at the end. You'll be liberated. But it happens day by day. You're liberated when you have those victories of realizing that you can do it, that you've overcome some fear, some doubt, some resistance, whatever it is, and that you are able to take the next step. And really, in the end, it doesn't seem to matter what the next step is, as long as you take it, because at that point, then you know what you have to do next. But if you stay here, you'll never know there's a next step. So we cannot possess anything, and we cannot be possessed by anything. We have to let it go, and then we receive everything. And that's what renunciation is about. And people often think that it's a really scary thing to renounce, and the imagination can really go wild that, you won't have anything. But really you have everything. There's this whole range from Maya to liberation. So all of those possibilities you could possibly think about in life, they're possible. So you don't need to stay in one. You don't need to. There's just so much more, and everyone is unique and precious in the eyes of Divine Mother. Yes. So we build a foundation. This becomes your foundation. We build up, 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 going closer and closer to her. And there she is. She's up there by herself. Intuition. Strength of that intuition. Free from all the cluttered mind. A beautiful mind that's almost totally empty except for sacred words and intuition. It's gold, filled with Om. May you all get that in this lifetime. It's possible. Liberation in one life. Om Namah Shivaya.